I'm going to make a brief video because I need to get ready for work now. I've been on vacation for like a week. But it's about beliefs. You know, I was thinking about something. I was watching this video. Laura Leela was talking about something. And it occurred to me as I'm thinking about that. About, what does the future hold for you? What do you think is going to be the case 100 years from now? And then I watched the other video that was linked to that. And I was thinking about 100 years. 100 years into the future. And I was thinking about my great aunt, who I've talked about before. She was born in 1872. She came to live with us, to live with my family for a period of time, just a short while. She only was with us for like a couple of months, and she died. And when she died, she was 103 years old. This was in 1975. I was 15 when she died. And I'm thinking, I thought about her, all the things that she's seen in her lifetime. When she was born in 1873 or 1872. So many things that exist today that we just take for granted didn't even exist in her days. I was thinking, if she was listening to music, for example, when she was a kid, that meant that there were musicians around, basically. They had to be, because there was no way to record music, You couldn't record those sounds. You had to have a musician in the room if you were listening to music. There had to be someone playing a violin, or you had to be at a concert hall or something. There were no records. There was no tapes, no CDs, DVDs, records, any of those things. The only way I guess you could record music is in written notations, and musicians could play stuff, and that was it. There was no television. The telephone hadn't been invented yet. She was born in 1872. The telephone was invented in 1876. There were no airplanes. All the things that she grew up with. And I'm thinking, if you'd asked her what's going to be the case in the future 100 years from now. Let's say, and I thought about that. I thought when she was the age that I am right now, I'm 51. When she was 51, it would have been 1923. If somebody had asked her back then, what do you think is going to happen 100 years from now, or even less than 100 years? If somebody had asked her and said, what do you think is going to be the case in the year 2011? I wonder what she would have said in less than 100 years from now, 90 some years from now, or 80 some odd years from now. What do you think is going to be the case in the year 2011? Or by the year 2000 or whatever. I think that she wouldn't have even thought about there being rockets or people going into space, because even that wasn't even something anybody was truly thinking of. If you had asked her that in 1911, what would she have thought? Projecting into the future. Not only what you think is going to exist, but just your beliefs about things, about the world, about the universe. I'm sure that if she had written down everything, that's why I always record everything I say, because I like to look back. It's always interesting to look back at, because I said this before, I have actually made thousands of tapes before I ever got on YouTube. I would always record everything. I have so much stuff recorded about me. And I always talk about what I think, what I believe, what I feel. And it's interesting to look at how my beliefs change. Whatever it is that I believe about something today, it will change. I won't believe the same things today that I will believe a year from now. There will be things that will change. Look, I'm not going to be believing the same things that I believe right now today. By the end of today, by the time I come home from work, I'm going to be believing something different. Your beliefs always change. Maybe a single belief you can focus on, might not change, but just some belief that you have is going to change. We have billions of beliefs about billions of different things, and something's going to change. Your beliefs change. You might discover that a friend, someone who you thought was a friend, wasn't. And maybe you might discover somebody who you thought was your enemy really was your friend. You might discover that money that you thought you had, you don't have. And maybe when you thought you didn't have money, you have lots of it. And maybe opportunities you thought were gone forever are there. And they always were there. Things change. See, I don't hold on to a belief. I don't latch on to it. I believe what I believe. And if I see evidence that runs contrary to that, I'll change it. So it's just an interesting question. You know, I'm not going to ask the question, will you believe the same things today that you'll believe a year from now? Because I don't have to ask that question. You won't. You know, you will not believe the same things a year from now. You know, if reality continues the way it always has, that's going to be the case, because you're going to have experiences that are going to shatter a lot of old beliefs. That happens. That's just normal. Changing what you believe is normal. And I think people are running contrary to reality when they try to hold on to a belief. You know, I have no interest in preserving a belief. I think the only things that need to be preserved are things that are dead. I've often said that. You only preserve things that are dead. You maintain things that are alive, but you preserve things that are dead, you know. And so if a belief doesn't work, or if I can no longer hold on to it, I let go of it. It's just the way I do things. That's all I have to say.